Ciao tutti! I am so excited for you to join me on this journey of gratitude stories, where I gather stories of others who have had gratitude expressed face to face, how it's made a difference in their life. You can make a difference every single day expressing gratitude. Join me on this journey. Don't wait to express gratitude today. Ciao a tutti, it's me, KP Speaks, and this morning I have Erin with me. Erin, sometimes I forget your last name and how to say it correctly, so I'm just going to go with Erin. She is the founder of Aspire Her, and Aspire Her is the up-and-coming #1 women's business conference in Utah. And I would say if you're even outside of Utah, it is definitely an event to be looking into and flying in. In fact, you can stay at my house and I'll cook for you if you want to come to this conference with me. Erin, will you tell us a little bit about what Aspire Her is and what brought you to do this amazing women's business conference?
Thank you, Kristen. Good morning. And it's Erin Weist, by the way. It's like
Yes.
west and east. So I am really excited about this Aspire Her conference. I found myself as a stay-at-home mom for about a dozen years, and I'd taken a break from the workforce, and I started looking at what could I do with my life. I had planned on law school at one point, and that kind of got derailed. And so I thought, well, maybe do I pick that back up, or what are my options for school, for further training, for working in my life. And so I started reaching out to other women. I joined a bunch of social media sites, blogs, forums, and just talking to people and listening and asking questions. And I started finding a lot of women in my same boat, people returning to the workforce and not knowing what to do. And the more I read and listened and asked questions, the more I realized that it wasn't just women like me. There were also women who had careers and and had needs that weren't being met, for networking and asking questions about their industries. And there were entrepreneurs, and there were just a lot of needs. And so for quite a few months, we spent some time. I developed a team, and we spent some time sending out surveys and saying, what are your needs, and what can we do? How can we fill those needs? And so the Aspire Her conference was born. And so it's been created specifically to fill needs, like you said, right now, of women in Utah. But the hope is to grow and expand and reach out to women far in, with a farther reach than that, and to provide networking, to provide resources. We're combining with other groups in the area that are women focused and that provide resources to women. And our goal is to just connect them, bring the groups together and the women together, and match them with who they need. So we have some amazing speakers coming that I'm really excited about. And yeah, so thank you for having me on.
Of course. And I am really excited about this conference. I remember I was sitting next to you at a workshop and I just, reached out and said, "Hey, who are you? What do you do?" And you said, "Oh, I'm a founder of Aspire Her." And I'd already been following you and following along with the story. And I was so excited that I was actually sitting next to you and could connect with you face to face, because a lot of times we only know each other through maybe social media or through LinkedIn. And instead, I actually was meeting you in person and super early in the process. And so I think what you're doing for women and helping all of us be able to find ways to network, connect, and find this venue where we can learn even more and just find the place where all of us are together, and it's just going to be absolutely powerful. And also we'll leave with this idea of what we want to move forward, and how we want to continue on with maybe our business goals and our life goals as well. So I thank you
Yeah,
for that.
that's the goal. And we're hoping that people will leave with some confidence and some knowledge, and some friends, and yeah, some good connections.
Great. Well, I think in business especially, connections are sometimes the key to it is the key to success, and not just the key to success, but the key to being able to thrive. Without connection, we really are just lonely, and so friendship and business connections help in all aspects of life. So, Erin, of course, you're here for gratitude stories. And so I would love to ask you if you've ever had somebody express gratitude to you face to face. And if they have, what was it and how did they do it? And how did it impact your life?
I have. I actually had an acquaintance express gratitude for me face to face in speaking out in a social setting about something that they felt strongly about, but they didn't feel confident expressing um, their thoughts about it in that setting. And I'm fairly outspoken, and they thanked me not just for expressing it, but for expressing it well, being articulate. And I thought that was very kind. I had never had anyone tell me that I was articulate before, and that really it stuck out to me because it was very specific, and it wasn't just thank you for speaking out, but thank you for this thing that I think you're good at, and pointing out a skill.
Mm.
And that actually meant a lot to me. And I started thinking of myself as, oh, maybe I'm articulate. And so I think that often happens that don't we don't always see our best self or our skills maybe, and it can be helpful to have someone else point them out.
Thank you for sharing that. I totally agree with that. A lot of times people will say something about me or, and I've never seen that about myself. So that's really, and other people, if we take that opportunity to thank someone and use something very genuine and sincere, we never know how much that can affect that person. So has it helped you be a little bit more, even more outgoing or speak out even more?
It definitely does, because I don't have a hard time speaking out, and so I think um, we're not alone in our opinions. We can feel like we are, but if you're thinking something or feeling a certain way, it's a fairly high probability that someone else is too, somewhere out there. And so if we have a voice that we can share, I feel like we have a good opportunity to do it, because there's probably someone out there with your same thoughts or feelings about something, and so you're being their voice too.
Great. So what role has gratitude had in your own life?
So for me, I was raised in a very spiritual home and setting, and that was just a big important part of our life was gratitude. I was just raised from a very young age to show gratitude to God, and to others around us, because that was, sort of a Judeo-Christian ethic in our home, and it was a positive way to live. And I have found that's very true when you're having really crummy days and things aren't going your way, and it's easy to complain. Um, that it tends to make things worse when you complain. But when we can find positive things, and we can express sincere gratitude to God and to each other, it tends to make things flow more smoothly, and it's just sort of a more positive, healthy way to live.
So for you personally, do you do like a gratitude list or how do you practice gratitude?
I don't. I actually went to a workshop recently, and that was one of the suggested activities, and I thought that was really great. And so I did actually get recently, I mean, this is very new, just in the last couple of weeks, have a journal and start writing things down. And that's been a really positive, healthy practice. It's kind of new, but in general, it's mostly through the way I start my day. If I
Mm.
start with a prayer that includes gratitude about things that I'm thankful for, it's a much better way to start my day than rushing into, getting kids to school and jumping right onto work email. And it just sort of, the whole day starts kind of in a harried, frenzied sort of beginning. But just taking those few moments to be still and thoughtful and remember why I love life. It does. It sets the tone for a day and makes things a little bit more orderly and just a little bit easier to handle stresses as they come.
I completely agree. You're a mom, you're running a huge you're a huge thing running Aspire Her, and gratitude is essential for you to be able to recenter yourself and be able to get to that point where you can keep going on. And sometimes gratitude is what I turn to. In fact, every day I turn to gratitude to be able to recenter myself as well. And one thing I would recommend is with gratitude, when you're writing your list, especially since it's a new practice, something that I teach is called active gratitude. So when you're writing those things down, place a feeling with it, or like, let's say you write down, I'm grateful for my hands. Well, think about something you did with your hands that day. And so make a memory with the thing that you're grateful for. So it becomes a visceral experience, and it will actually internalize that thing that you're grateful for. It's kind of a positive psychology practice and kind of internalizes it even more. So in the universe, if you could have anybody here right in front of you right now and thank them for something, who would it be and what would you say to them?
I would thank my parents, who are both still living, and I love them to death. And I would say thank you, Mom and Dad, for your unfailing support in me. I would thank you for instilling in me the values that have helped me have a peaceful, happy, healthy life. Thank you for believing in me and seeing strengths that I didn't even know were there, and loving me unconditionally. It has been the most strengthening thing of my life, and I couldn't imagine being able to succeed in this venture and in motherhood and all the hard things that I've done in my life without that base. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Erin Weist,
Yeah.
for joining me today. I've been having some hard last names lately. If any of you want to get in contact with Erin, how can they get in contact with you or sign up for Aspire Her?
So we are, tickets are going to be available. I'm so excited, in a couple of weeks. But right now you can go to our website, aspireher.com, and sign up for email updates. If you go do that now, you get a discount code for 10% off your ticket. Follow us on Instagram. It's aspire.her.
Great. And I am just so thankful that you took this time. I know you have kids that got to get ready for school. And if you are thinking of somebody that you want to thank in the universe, don't wait. Go and thank them. And remember that it's never too late to share gratitude and spread kindness in the world. Thank you so much, Erin.
Thank you for having me, Kristen.